Today I'm going to do some more work on the BMW. Mostly so far the few things I've done have been towards performance or at least not losing performance. And I've been meaning to get to doing maintenance type things, but have held off kind of waiting to get everything together. I finally have everything together and need to tear into it and do some maintenance. But today I've got a little bit of free time, so I'm just going to do something really quick. Something that I've noticed since having the JB4 and being able to log and view different monitors or different gauges on my phone, I've noticed that the oil temp is really hot on these cars. Usually when up to temp, driving around, the oil temp is somewhere around like 240, 244 Fahrenheit. And it's just way hotter than I want it to be. And I've seen a lot of things of failures in these cars in the engine bay tend to be heat related and tons of plastics and stuff, and heat causing gaskets to leak and whatnot. So something I'm going to do moving forward is try to, anytime I do something, if I can do something that's kind of heat related, try to do something to lower temperatures. So today what I'm going to do is install an, I forgot, I think it's FTP. I don't know. Install, I believe it's FTP oil temp thermostat. So this should, I believe, have an opening temperature that's 20 degrees lower than factory. So I think ideally it should put the operating window between like 190 to 220, probably riding higher on that 220. But at least it's not something where driving around, just cruising on the highway or something, or even just service streets, but not even stop and go, just constant cruising where you should be getting airflow. It won't be anywhere near 244, 250 kind of stuff. So I got a kit that also has the, I guess the cap to the thing. So this is the actual thermostat itself. It's got this little sleeve collar thing, this spring, fits together like this. This shorter end with this on it faces towards the outside. Comes with a new little gasket, like I said, the cover, and some new hardware. So we'll get out to the car, pull the old one off, throw this in. It should be a quick little job. And then I don't know if I'm gonna drive today. It's currently out raining, which doesn't really affect things, but to truly see what the difference would be, I'd rather it be like a normal hot sunny day, but I'll go drive and see if I can get a recording of off the JB4 that shows what the temps actually look like. I didn't do it before recording, but I've driven enough times, looked at the gauges enough time to see that's pretty steady on my car. Here where I'm at, it's pretty steady at 244 cruising. And I've talked to some other people that have N54 cars, and they say that's pretty normal, that for some reason BMW wanted the temps to be higher. I'm not a fan of that, so I want to lower them. Okay, so this here is the oil filter housing on the cars. I believe on cars with a factory oil cooler, it has this here, and that's where the thermostat comes into play. The thermostat sits right behind here, so you can see that little cap there is a similar shape to this piece. So not cars without a factory oil cooler won't have this section, I don't believe. I think there's just kind of a cap off there, and that's, oil filters back in here. But all of the 5 Series have it, and I think some of the 3 Series do, but not all of them, and I'm not sure about any models other than that. But basically what I need to do is pull this bolt off to be able to get room to clear this. Pull this off, pull the old stuff out, put the new stuff in, we're all good. To start, I already pulled the engine cover off because it was sitting right here, and there's no way I was gonna be able to get things apart. And then this sensor, I pulled this out down here. Just the wiring runs right in through here, and I didn't want it to hit on here or anything and cause any issues. So I pulled that out and threw some tape over the connector down here just to keep any possible oil that comes out from getting on anything. One thing to note is that I drove this thing earlier today just to run some errands. I got back home probably around 5 hours ago, and it's still hot in this bay. Granted, I didn't pop the hood when I got home. I just pulled it in the garage, but I don't have a actual temp gauge or anything, like a infrared or anything, but there's still some heat on this. So Doing this isn't gonna fix that, but if I run cooler, you know, it should help things out a little bit. So to get started, I've got to pull this bolt off here. And then pull these. Okay, that's that. You can already tell, you can see it's just pushing out. That's not me pulling it off. That's the factory spring pushing this thing off. And there, just popped out. So there's the factory. There you go. There's the factory housing. It looks pretty similar in shape to this one. Really, like, this new piece isn't probably going to do anything different. Only thing I do notice is it's got these fins on it, which may help cooling. Realistically, it's going to be sitting in a hot engine bay anyway. But while I'm in there, I might as well change that out. I'm going to have to get this old gasket out and pull the old thermostat out as well. So let's see here. It's a piece there. And the factory spring. So that sat in here like this. The new thermostat's gonna sit a little bit different in there. But it's just kind of hollow sleeve down in there. There we go. There we go. They came out pretty easy, but it's definitely flattened in there, meshed in there. I didn't have any leaks from there, so that's good. So the new valve goes in like so. New gasket just sits in the little race thing. Okay. I've got to double check if there's a torque on these things, but I'm just going to run them in hand tight for right now just to get the spring to hold in there. I could not find a torque spec, so we're just going with the German torque spec of Gutentite. And got that set. Now I just need to put this one bolt back in here, replug in that that sensor, and it should be all set. Okay, that's also tight there. And take this tape off, reroute my sensor down here. We're good. Okay, so I've been driving around for about a half hour and try to build temps, and this is the highest that I've seen it get to is 222 Fahrenheit for the oil temp. Typically with how much I've just driven around, I would have seen temps up to like 244-ish, I think is the peak I would see before. So this thing's definitely working, definitely dropped the temps about a little over 20 degrees or right at 20 degrees. So I'm a lot more comfortable with that for oil temp.